Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bibliophila, where I discuss books that inspire us, enrich our minds and broaden our mental horizon. Let's begin today's episode with a review of yet another book. Today I'll be talking about a book, A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. Henrik Ibsen is one of the founding figures of modern theatre in whose plays the contemporary social problems are represented. In this play, for instance, Henrik Ibsen upholds the dire condition of women and the lack of opportunity for them to find self-fulfillment in a patriarchal society. To date, A Doll's House remains a timeless example of war literature. The play opens on Christmas Eve. Nora Helmer, a housewife, comes into her well-furnished living room and starts putting some articles in order. Her husband, Torvald Helmer, on hearing her come in, emerges from his study. He greets her playfully and affectionately, but then scolds her for spending so much money on Christmas gifts. It is evident from the way he speaks to her that he adores her. It is also understood from their conversation that the couple had to go through some financially tough times in the last few years and that Torvald had gained a new position at a bank by which the family could live a comfortable lifestyle. Nora is delighted for her husband and ponders on the things that she would buy once she gets the money. This explains the dependence of women on their husbands in the 19th century Norwegian society and elsewhere. After a while, Nora's old school friend, Mrs. Christine Lind, comes into the room, much to Nora's surprise. The two have not seen each other for years, although Nora reveals that she had read somewhere that Mrs. Lind's husband had died a few years back. Mrs. Lind tells Nora that her old mother, for whom she had cared all her life, had died and her two younger brothers were no longer in need of her. She felt useless since she has no occupation and has come to ask Torvald Helmer to find her a job. Nora tells Mrs. Lind all about her first year of marriage, during which the couple had to go through financially tough times. Both of them had to work for long hours and this had a negative impact on Torvald's health. The couple took a trip to Italy so that Torvald could recover. This trip would later have a great impact on the plot of the play. Nora reveals the greatest secret of her life to Mrs. Lind. She tells that she had illegally borrowed money by forging her dead father's signature so that they could take the trip to Italy. In those days, it was illegal for women to borrow money without their husband or father's knowledge. Since then, she had been slowly repaying the money and she believed that soon it would be fully repaid. She had told her husband that the money had come from her father. When Christine, her husband and all others leave the room, Krogstad, a low-level employee at Torvald's bank, comes in and confronts Nora. He tells her that she must put in a good word for him with her husband so that Torvald would not fire him from the bank. When Nora refuses to do so, Krogstad blackmails her about her borrowing of the money and forging her dead father's signature. Since Nora is scared, she talks to her husband about Krogstad, but in vain. When Torvald fires Krogstad from the bank, he comes in and talks to Nora. He says that he no longer cares whether or not the debt is fully repaid. He would take revenge on her eventually. He puts in everything that Nora had done into a letter and throws it into Torvald's letter box. It is revealed in the play that Christine and Krogstad were once in love. Christine had left Krogstad for her husband because her poor family had no other means to survive. Now she has returned once again to offer him her love. Krogstad reveals that he would not have stooped to unethical and illegal behavior if he would not have been devastated by her abandonment for some other man. Krogstad offers to take back the letter that he had given to Torvald, but Christine tells him not to do so. She feels that it is important for Nora and Tolbert's relationship that both of them should know everything about each other. Nora tries in vain to stop her husband from reading the letter by talking to him, playing with him, dancing and singing. But unfortunately, Tolbert does read the letter. Helmer staggers back. Is it true? Is it true what he writes? Oh my God, no, it's impossible, it can't be true. Nora, it is true, I've loved you more than anything else in the world. Helmer, oh, don't try to make silly excuses. Nora takes a step towards him. Tolbert, Helmer, wretched woman, what have you done? Nora, let me go. You're not going to suffer for my sake. I won't let you. Helmer, stop being theatrical. Locks the front door. You're going to stay here and explain yourself. Do you understand what you have done? Answer me, do you understand? Nora looks unflinchingly at him and her expression growing colder says, yes, now I am beginning to understand. Helmer walking round the room. Oh, what a dreadful awakening. For 8 whole years, she who was my joy and pride, a hypocrite, a liar, worse and worse, a criminal. Oh, the hideousness of it. Shame on you, shame. Nora is silent and stares unblinkingly at him. Helmer stops in front of her. I ought to have guessed that something of this sort would happen. I should have foreseen it. All your father's recklessness and instability. Be quiet, I repeat. All your father's recklessness and instability he has handed on to you. No religion, no morals, no sense of duty. Oh, how I have been punished for closing my eyes to his fault. I did it for your sake, and now you reward me like this. Nora, yes, like this. Helmer, now you have destroyed all my happiness. You have ruined my whole future. Oh, it's too dreadful to contemplate. I am in the power of a man who is completely without scruples. He can do what he likes with me, demand what he pleases, order me to do anything. I dare not disobey him. I am condemned to humiliation and ruin simply for the weakness of a woman. Nora, when I am gone from this world, you will be free. Nora, Helmer, oh, don't be melodramatic. Your father was always ready with that kind of remark. How would it help me if you were gone from this world, as you put it? It wouldn't assist me in the slightest. He can still make all the facts public, and if he does, I may quite easily be suspected of having been an accomplice in your crime. People may think that I was behind it, that it was I who encouraged you, and for all this I have to thank you, you who I have carried all my life through all the years of marriage. Now do you realize what you have done to me? Nora, coldly calm, yes. Helmer, it's so unbelievable I can hardly credit it, but we must try to find some way out. Take off that shawl, take it off, I say. I must try to buy him off somehow. This thing must be hushed up at any price. As regards our relationship, we must appear to be living together just as before, only appear, of course. You will therefore continue to reside here, that is understood, but the children shall be taken out of your hands. I dare no longer entrust them to you. Oh, to have to say this to the woman I once loved so dearly, and whom I still. Well, all that must be finished. Henceforth there can be no question of happiness. We must merely strive to save what shreds and tatters. Tolbert had uttered words which Nora had never imagined that her husband would say to her. She realized that her husband was no longer in love with her. He had only liked her when it suited him. When it came to his own safety, he abandoned her. He was not the strong and gallant man that she had imagined him to be. Just then a maid came in and delivered another letter from Krogstad to Tolbert. The letter said that the matter was settled between them and that Krogstad will not reveal any details of the matter to the public. Immediately Tolbert's behavior changes. He asks for Nora's forgiveness and takes back his cruel words that he had just uttered to her. Nora is of course not moved by his sweet talks. She leaves him and the children along with her wedding ring and keys. The play closes with Tolbert sitting in the living room and crying. Although Ibsen denied that it was his intent to write a feminist play, his work received widespread criticism from the 19th century Norwegian society, so much so that he was compelled to change the ending of his play. The alternate ending of the play states that Nora stays back with her husband, forgives him for everything and continues to be a housewife instead of going out into the world and finding a self-dependent life for herself. I sincerely hope that you have liked this analysis of the book A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. If you have, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Bibliophila. I'll be back again with an analysis of yet another book. Till then, keep reading.